What's going on, guys? We are doing an oil change on my 2011 Nissan Frontier. First thing that we are going to do, we're going to lift the car up onto the lift. I'm using this lift at work. So we're going to lift it up and then we're going to drop it down onto our safety jacks. From then we're going to go to the oil pan, crack that oil drain plug loose. We're going to let that thing drain out as soon as we get the plug out. Lovely little plug that holds it in. 14 millimeter socket to be used, and then remember, always make sure you change out your washer on the drain plug, and then once that's all done draining, we are going to plug that hole back in. A little rough going back in just because I didn't have the threads lined up correctly. And then once that's back in, we are going to clean it down with some brake clean. And as you can see here, we're going to clean it down with some brake clean, and then more brake clean is better than the rest, so we're going to wipe it down just to make sure that the customer is happy, even though it is my truck. All nice and clean for it. And then next we're going to take off the skid plate because I am doing a oil cooler seal replacement on it. So I have to take off the front undercarriage basically. Make sure that gets on the ground safely. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to crack our oil filter loose. I'm using some claws, letting the oil seep out first onto our little ramp for the oil pan, so it doesn't, or the oil, so it doesn't get on our sway bar. And then once that's drained out a little bit, we're going to fully take it off. Just dropped it a little bit. And then this is when I make my repair for the oil cooler seal. And then I just cleaned it all up. Then we're going to put our oil filter back on to the truck. Make sure that is hand tight. And then we are going to drop the truck down and get it off of the lift jacks. And drop the truck down back to its four wheels. And then after this, we are going to fill the oil, new oil, into my car. And then always make sure that you guys clean up your mess if you spill or anything. I did have a little bit of a scare where I accidentally spilled some oil, and then I started the car. As we see now, I'm going to start the car. After all the oil is in, we put 6 quarts into my car. Let it run for a little bit, and then during this time you should check your fill level, which that looks really good. And now we're going to put our splash shield back on. 2 bolts in the back that just slide into place, and then 2 bolts up top. And we're just going to get those nice and snug. Don't need to be too tight because we don't want to strip them down. And then we got 4 bolts that attach the front bumper piece to the skid plate. We're going to tighten those down just snug. We don't need to tighten them down all the way. All just snug. And then the last thing that we have to put on for the undercarriage to be complete is just a little plastic piece that goes over those bolts, and that basically hides most of the skid plate. This piece right here. And then always make sure you guys are just cleaning up your mess. Don't want to leave any stains of oil or anything for the customer, or on any car. That's the worst. And there is 6 bolts that go into this one, and then we will drop the car back down and our job will be done. One more bolt in there. And then, like I said, just make sure that everything under the hood is tight and cleaned. We're just going to clean it up with some brake clean. And then after that, you can drop the hood and send the customer on his way. And that is how to do an oil change for a 2011 Nissan Frontier.